Yo, what's going on, buddy?
Travis, what's going on? I'm good. How are you?
Good. You're usually the one that has all the energy. What's going on?
Oh, nothing. It's just been pretty mad these past couple of days, and
Yeah.
I'm doing 2 sessions a day, like working out. So yeah, that's why. And it's 9:30 now. That's why. But I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited to start this and get into this. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Not enough sleep again last night, but it was all productive. It wasn't just getting crazy with Cinco de Mayo, so I'm all right.
Cool, man. Cinco de Mayo is what is that? It's like a
You've never heard it? Okay, so Cinco de Mayo is a celebration for the Mexican culture.
May.
It was Most people think it's Mexican Independence Day, but it wasn't. It was actually a victory that they had over France, and I forgot the year, but it's a celebration of the Mexican culture. And being in Texas, we're right on the border with Mexico, so there's a lot of influence from that particular
Ah,
culture. And in the
that makes sense.
U.S., it's a melting pot of all different cultures, and so uh, there's a lot of Mexican
Cool.
flavors, spices, smells, colors. There's a lot of influence on Texas from Mexico, and so we celebrate that.
Oh, cool.
So
All
Cinco de
right.
Mayo fell on a Taco Tuesday, only to be ruined by the coronavirus.
Oh,
So people
right.
drank Dos
That,
Equis to celebrate instead of Corona.
those are the beers, the most interesting man in the world.
Yes, indeed.
That's all I know about Dos Equis.
There you go. Uh,
All
so
right.
um, thank you for joining today again. I'm pretty excited to get this started off as more of a regular set, I guess you could say, on a weekly basis.
Mhm.
The first one we did was pretty long, so we're going to try to narrow that down, find a new niche for our target audience. You do a lot of these simple 1-2 minute videos, which is great, and people really don't want to dedicate 30 minutes of their time to something. So we're going to find something kind of in between for us, and that way it
Sure.
can be kind of a back and forth. I'm not saying I am the most interesting man in the world, but I think the two-way conversation would definitely bring a different dimension to what you do. And as a health insurance agent, I definitely want to bring some more healthy decisions towards myself and my audience. So I think
Cool.
together we can do some wonderful things.
Absolutely.
You good with that?
Let's do it.
All right. So
Yeah, man. Sounds good.
tell me, you went live yesterday talking about the Warrior Blueprint and the 5 different pillars that
Correct.
that makes, right? Do you
Mhm.
want to tell us a little bit more about that? Is the Warrior Blueprint, is that your company? Is that what you kind of stand for? What is that
So that is my program.
program? Okay.
And what I did was just outline what it involves and how I take people from point A to point B and get them the results that they want, but not just that, help them acquire the skill sets that they need in order to maintain the results moving forward after they're done.
Right.
So it involves 5 pillars that we focus on because exercise without nutrition is not going to work. Vice versa. We also look at environment, which we went into on the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also talk about mindset. So mindset's a big pillar. And then also we go into the morning and evening rituals.
Okay. So
That's
we
the
have
first pillar.
nutrition, exercise, environment, mindset, and
Mindset,
morning, evening rituals.
exactly. Yes.
Perfect. All right. And you were,
Um,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah. You want me to go into them or?
You can introduce them briefly if you'd like. Again, we're going to try to keep this because we want people coming back every week, right? We don't want to make this an
Yeah.
hour-long episode. We want people coming back every
Of
week to
course.
get a little bit more
Right.
and figure out what it looks like from an application standpoint. So we can break it down in other episodes. Let's just I think you might have even introduced it right there. So let's
Cool.
maybe even step into what we were talking about in our last interview, where you had the toilet paper perspective, or we can do that next time maybe. I don't know if you're ready
Mm.
for that or not, but
Yeah, I'm ready for that. You want to go
okay,
into that?
yeah, let's do that.
So here's the thing: a lot of people are in the mindset of exercise.
Right.
Exercise is an integral part when it comes to dropping body fat. And then, when life gets busy as it does, and they're unable to go to the gym and be consistent with that, usually nutrition kind of goes out the window and they think, oh, well, what's the point? So what I tell people is we have to shift that mindset, take a step back, and really think about the fundamentals. And the most important thing when it comes to fat loss is the nutrition side of things. But when I ask people, what's your nutrition like? A lot of people will answer, yeah, I'm eating healthy foods. And, we all know what healthy foods are, right? Fruits, vegetables, lean protein, all these different things. The problem, however, is that a lot of people aren't actually tracking. A lot of people don't actually have data. Why? Because I get it. It's meticulous. It's boring. No one wants to go on that app and start logging in all the foods because they kind of turn their nose up because they fail to understand that if you track your calories consistently, you'll begin to understand the nutritious values in different foods, and then you'll be able to make the correct decisions in different scenarios.
Okay.
So, when you're at an office and people are bringing things in, obviously not now, but when people are bringing things into the office, and when a lot of people have client dinners or family dinners, they're just unaware of what should be on their plate. They just order whatever they feel like ordering, and that's normal. I'm not bashing anybody for that. But if we can just track and understand foods a little bit better, we can also prepare for these events, manage our calories well, and just be able to enjoy our favorite foods, but at the same time remain in a calorie deficit so we can get the results. And this is really what it comes down to, managing your calories.
All right. So you actually mentioned something there, and I'm not going to disagree with you, but I'm going to add a different perspective as well. So you said that people don't track their calories because it's too meticulous and boring. I'm going to share a different perspective on that because I know myself, and I know there's a lot more people like me. It's not that we don't want to track the calories, it's that we'd rather not know the truth, because the truth means we're going to be accountable for doing something about it, right? So ignorance is bliss. We're trying to give ourselves permission to do stuff because we can claim that ignorance. We don't know any better, right? So this is me being completely transparent. There's a lot of people who don't want to even admit that to themselves. But it's the whole concept of, if I don't know, what I don't know can't hurt me. But it's really hurting me. Does that make sense?
And I didn't. That makes sense. Yeah, I've heard a few people mention that when I speak to clients, but yeah, totally makes sense. I can see how that can
You
happen.
talk a lot about that mindset. I think that's another one of those things that it's obviously not in the right place if they're not eating correctly, if they're not exercising and doing these healthy habits that we're talking about now. It's pure ignorance. And I mean that in a wonderful way. It's just not knowing any better and wanting to stay not knowing any better because you won't have to do anything about it. But here's the time where you and we're encouraging people to do something about it, right? And I guess I'm going to have to start. So, hey guys, crowdsourced accountability. Here we go. I'm going to start doing this too.
Cool. Yeah, that's actually quite interesting. It's actually I never really thought of it like that, but yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But it's one thing telling someone, you know what, you need to eat less and do more. but there's other things that actually impact that. Whether that person can actually adhere to that deficit. And one of the big things that is massively overlooked by the fitness industry, because the fitness industry just yells out, "Oh, calorie deficit, you gotta, train and be consistent, and if you don't do that, then there's something wrong with you," is environment. Environment is a massive one. And I spoke about this or today on the presentation. I said, whenever I take someone on and that person has a partner, I always ask them before I take them on, is your partner actually supporting you with this? Is your partner on the same page? Do they understand what you're trying to achieve? Because, your partner is always going to be there, right? And a lot of times partners cook for us. Partners,
partners bring home pizza for the family, like last night at my house.
Exactly. So, if your partner isn't on board, that's a problem. That's a situation. If your partner has bad habits, it's going to impact your habits. But if you can come together and just make sure that you're on the same page and make sure that you have their support and almost encourage the other person to move as well and start to, live the lifestyle that you're looking to live, everything is going to get a lot better. More energy throughout the day, probably more sex, to be honest with you. And, you can just bring this together, more confidence, more increase in self-esteem. So yeah, I think that's a massive one. And also, the people that you're surrounding yourself by. So, if you've got mates, friends, colleagues, whatever, that don't take care of their bodies and have bad habits, it's a situation. I'm not saying, dump your partner or get rid of your mates or friends. But what I am saying is it's something to think about. And perhaps you should think about spending less time with someone, not saying your partner, maybe it's your friend, if you always find yourself eating and drinking and doing all these things with them. Because I have a friend like that. He's my best friend, but there's only so much time I can spend with him. Otherwise, my routine goes out the window.
Right.
I end up putting on body, and things get messed up. So
I think a lot to do with that is also communication, right? It's letting people know that you're trying something different, that you're not just trying to maintain those unhealthy habits, that you're trying to do something to improve your own well-being. And it doesn't mean that they have to go along with the ride, but if somebody really cares about you, like your best mate or your partner, they're actually going to be much more respectful of you and your habits and things like that. So hopefully they're not going to put as many stumbling blocks in your way at the same time.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we touched upon in an interview that I did with my client.
I mentioned pizza last night, right? Very well meaning. She's got no idea that I'm going to try to do something healthier, right? She didn't know. She's great, take care of the kids. She's fantastic, right? So healthier choices means doing something a little bit different and communicating that. So that's on me. It's accountability.
Exactly. And, it doesn't have to be boring. Like a lot of people think, healthy eating, salads and There's so many different things that you can do. You just have to spend some time actually looking into it. And
this is the information age. You can find recipes everywhere.
Exactly. So, you can do burritos, you could do tacos. Those are high in protein, high in fiber, good quality carbohydrates that are probably going to keep you full, as opposed to a pizza. I'm not saying pizza, you shouldn't have pizza. But what I am saying, if you're the kind of person that, eats one slice and then wants another 9, that's a situation like myself,
Well, we have these new pizza places around here that they do. It's almost like making sandwiches in a assembly line fashion, right? So you can get a small, really thin crust one, and you can just pile it up with toppings. So you can be really healthy with your choices there. You can do arugula and all types of veggies and olives and mushrooms and all that kind of good stuff, and have just a very thin layer of crust to kind of bring it all together. Good. So there are some healthier options out there and still getting the same type of comfort foods, right?
They should
But then
bring that
again,
over.
I'm in Texas, and this is the restaurant capital of the world, folks. If you're not in Houston and you think badly of Houston, try it.
Yeah, we need that in the UK. We don't have that. It's just basically Domino's or.
I've spent quite a bit of time up around Leeds and in Bradford, in a place called Shipley, and not really much time in London or anything like that. But I spent some time down in Birmingham and Wolverhampton and things like that. I'm aware of what you have up there, and it's definitely different than what we have here in the States. We have so many different options. And every culture kind of blends food with themselves, making kind of a fusion out of it, right? So in Texas, we have Tex-Mex. We don't have Mexican food, we have Tex-Mex. Well, we have both, but I prefer Tex-Mex because it's my personal flavor, right? Because we've taken the Mexican culture, we've taken the Louisiana culture, we've taken other things, and we kind of combine all the ingredients and flavors and kind of make it our own, right? Same thing with, say, Chinese food, because it's Chinese American. It's not the same in China. I spent a lot of time there as well. But the UK has a wonderful blend of, say, Indian food. They call it going for a curry, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they actually have my favorite Indian food on the planet in the UK. And I went to a couple of places just outside of Birmingham that are really good. And there was a Thai restaurant in Shipley that was fantastic as well. So every culture has a unique kind of flavor to it. So you can enjoy that. And this Thai place had the best tom yum soup I've ever had. And we're talking healthy, we're talking comfort food at the same time. It's really good. So you can make better choices and still enjoy yourself and be out with your mates.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. And I think that's especially important. So if you are going out to somewhere, it's always a good idea to look into where you're going before you actually go there.
Yeah, have a plan.
Yeah, have a plan of action, have a look. I mean, you can be a real pain in the ass like I am, and I'll go in and ask them how many grams of protein that they actually serve with each meal. And if they don't serve enough, then I'll order a little bit extra on the side. But yeah, having a plan of action, preparing for these events in advance definitely helps. I made that mistake today. I didn't think about it. My friends invited me to go to a falafel place. It was good, but it just wasn't enough. And I should have looked into things a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it happens to all of us. So just something to bear into consideration. Well, when things start to open up, or if you just get takeaways.
Yeah. Well, we have to get takeaway right now, so that's good. Well, we do.
That's it.
All right, buddy. I think this is a good natural stopping point for today. Want to respect the time of the audience and make sure that they tune in for more. So good nutrition points this week. Yeah, so we're talking about healthy eating. We're talking about making sure you're getting good quantities of vegetables, fruits, and proteins, and just basically making a plan and communicating what you're trying to do with people around you. So I think that's a great starting point. And we'll talk next time about whether or not the gym and a big impact point per day is the way to go, or if we just need to maintain a more steady activity level. All right? Sound good?
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you, buddy. We'll speak again next week. For all you folks out there, subscribe to Dino. Is it Dino or Dino? It's Dino, right?
Dino, yeah.
Yeah, like yabba dabba doo. Yeah, absolutely. Prehistoric right there. He actually reached out to me a while back saying, hey, what are you doing in this time to make sure you're doing healthier habits? Subscribe to his channel, like him, follow his videos. Great advice. A lot of these what I call micro training things. Let's keep that up, buddy. You're doing a great job. Appreciate you, and we'll see you again next week.
Cool. Thank you, man.
All right, buddy.
Appreciate it. Take care, Travis. Bye.